Hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face and my card making space and the unboxing and making with Simon Says Stamps August 2025 card kit. Disclaimer as always, these kits are sent to me. I'm on the Simon Says Stamp design team. I don't have to do these unboxings or anything like that. They're just fun. And like always, I will have links to the kit, to the subscription, to everything individually. Those are always in the description box below the video because there's options with everything. And all my links are affiliate links. That just means that if you click on one of my links and end up placing an order, I do get a little kickback from that at no extra cost to you. That is what helps keep the lights on, pays the bills, enables me to keep bringing out content. So with all of that out of the way, let's go and check out the kit. So I already... I saw this on the store. Oh, we'll get to it in a second. When the kit was listed, I saw it and I was just like, oh yes. Oh yes. Okay. And I lost my, where did I put it? There's my little paper. So this is the Best Tees, kind of a pun on words, kit. And the focus, of course, is a super cute set. So you get the 6x8 Best Tees stamp set. How adorable is this? I like this mix of fonts. This is really cute, you guys. There is, I'm pretty sure, I'll know when I go to link everything, but I'm pretty sure there's a coordinating die set for this. It's separate. It is a separate purchase, and it's because it's also going to be a big die set that's going to die cut all the images, and I think the sentiments as well. So that is an option. Although a lot of this is pretty simple sort of fussy cutting because I don't have the die set, so that's what I'm going to have to do anyway. This one would be really cute for paper piecing. You could stamp this onto pattern paper and then trim it out. It would look really cute. Really cute. So, stamp set. There's also this really fun embossing folder. This is the Demilune. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not even sure how you pronounce that. Demilune? That's how I would assume. Yeah. 3D embossing folder. This is another one of those ones where it's a very, any sort of like basic geometric sort of pattern works for just everything. I love just basic geometric patterns because you can use them on anything, any theme, any style. It just adds that little extra something. So, yas. And then there's this die set. You get the fancy thank you die set, which is the word and the outline. And this is a good size. I like it. It's kind of similar. It's, I think, a similar font to the bolder font in the set, which I really like as well. It coordinates. So you get that. And then this is the new Simon Says Stamp Positively Perfect White Splatter Medium. If you have not followed my channel for any length of time, if you're new here, hello, welcome to the chaos. But yeah, I like to splatter. I like to splatter all the things. This just makes me happy. I'm going to have fun with this. So, yeah, a whole little jar of it. Love it. Love it. No notes. Candy, as always. Ooh, what's this one? Ooh, cotton candy. Gotta love the candy. Gotta love the candy. So got that. There is pattern paper. This is the Carta Bella Coffee Shop pattern paper. And it's double-sided. And just cute. I like this color combo. It's like sage green, light pink, very, very dark gray, like dark gray, almost black. Sort of a mustard color, like a coffee color. Yeah, these pattern papers are pretty. I like a lot. Oh, these are fun. And I can't remember offhand. I wonder if I ordered this. I might have a full pack of this coming in an order because if anything coffee themed, I'm like, yes, sign me up. Reminds me, at the end of this video, if I remember, at the very end in the end screen, I do have a coffee themed playlist. I used to do a lot of coffee themed cards. I have done a lot over the years, but I don't do as many anymore. But yeah, I'll link to that playlist. And some of them are tea themed as well. I just mixed them in. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I ordered this paper. I hope I did because it's really nice paper and I would like more of it. It's just nice. I like just the solid patterns as well. Yeah. This is really nice paper. So I'm pretty sure. I hope I ordered it because if not, I'm going to have to order some more just to have it. So get that. One of Simon's envelopes, which are self-adhesive. Some of my favorite envelopes. A pre-scored cotton candy matches A2 card. So it's got the score line down the middle. So you just fold it. There you got your card base. Love. Some little tags. You get, these are number 2 white tags. They say white, but these are definitely not white. These are like, I would call that cream or ivory. Love it. This one is Simon's cotton candy envelope, Nina White Smoke Sage. Oh no, this is Tim Holtz. This is Tim Holtz. Oh, if I had flipped it over, I would have known this because it's got the craft base. This is Tim Holtz gold cardstock, and because it has the craft base, if you emboss this and then sand it, it'll expose like the craft cardstock base. I like Tim Holtz Ideology Metallics. I've used that in tons of videos. So you get one of those. And then, yeah, you get Simon's. This is Sage, 100-pound cardstock. Beautiful. So nice. Smoke, right? Yeah, this one's Smoke. Another good one. And then this is Nina Solar White, 110-pound. And then one of Simon's mesh bags, which the whole kit will fit in here. I use these to transport my cards and envelopes when I'm mailing out cards. I use them to store all kinds of stuff. I love their mesh bags. They're just so good. And they have a little paw. They have a little paw pull on the zipper and then a nice sturdy ribbon. So you can like clip a bunch together or hang them up. So yeah, that is the kit in a nutshell. And then with the magic of video editing, I'm going to splice it together with what I've decided to make. At the moment, I have no idea. It's going to be something cute because all of these are absolutely adorable. So yeah, just keep watching and we'll see what I decided to make. So obviously I made a bunch of cards. I had fun. I took the Nina Classic Crest Solar White cardstock that came in the kit and I cut it down and I put a panel of it into my MISTI. And then I took a bunch of the images from the stamp set, lined them up, and then I'm going to stamp them with the Rainbow Splash black ink. This is a good alcohol marker friendly ink. I've been using it for a few months now. Super happy with it. And normally I use Simon Says Stamps smooth white 120-pound cardstock. That has just been my go-to white cardstock for years. I use it for my card bases and I've been using it for my alcohol marker coloring. I used to use the Nina and then I don't know why I switched over to Simon's cardstock. It's just been my go-to. And I haven't used Nina cardstock in a long time to color with alcohol markers, but this came in the kit and for once I was like, why not? I'm reminded of how much I like this cardstock. Either one is great. You know, the Nina Classic Crest Solar White. This is 110-pound. 80-pound works wonderfully too. Great with alcohol markers. And Simon's 120-pound smooth white. Also great with alcohol markers. Whatever floats your boat. So, I'm using Copic markers. That first little bit was real time. This is now very much sped up. I do not color this quickly at all, but sped up just to save us all a bunch of time. Because as usual, I'm not doing anything groundbreaking or innovative with my coloring. I'm keeping it pretty basic. Darkest to lightest is how I prefer to color. That's just somewhat laziness and somewhat also I have been coloring with alcohol markers for, goodness, close to 20 years now. Yeah, it's been a long time. And yeah, going darkest to lightest is just faster. When you're newer to alcohol markers, I recommend going lightest to darkest. It gives you a little bit more control. And then once you get comfortable with it, again, do whatever floats your boat. So most of my blends were like 2 color blends, maybe 3 here and there. Like I said, simple. not trying to like reinvent anything. On the cookie, I used the darkest shade and like dotted the marker to create a little bit of texture because, you know, cookies have a little bit of texture to them. And then everything else was just straight, simple coloring. And I just worked my way around. I had picked out colors that went well with the pattern paper because I was planning on using the pattern papers. And then once I'm done all my coloring, I'm going to use my Jelly Roll white gel pen. Love my white gel pen. Every time I use it, this is my go-to gel pen. The thing to remember with gel pens, regardless of what brand it is, whatever your preferred one is consistency. You need to use them somewhat consistently. If they sit for weeks and months on end not being used, they just dry up. They stop working. They're annoying. But if you use it somewhat consistently, you shouldn't have problems. This one, I use it quite often. Never have problems. It's been my favorite. It's been my go-to. I've bought backups because I've literally used them up. They haven't dried out. I've just used them up. So after I did all my little random white highlights, just put them wherever, I fussy cut all those images. Because like I said, I didn't have the die set. It didn't take me that long. And honestly, off camera, I had actually stamped that panel a second time and colored all those images. So I had 2 sets of images, hence why I made so many cards. So everything was cut out, set it all aside. For this one, I die cut some of that sage cardstock with one of the petal tipped labels wafer dies. I've used that die set many times since it was released a month or 2 ago, whenever it was. And I love it. I love that shape so much. So I die cut the cardstock and I stamped one of the sentiments from the set with clear embossing ink after I had used my anti-static powder tool. Stamped the sentiment with clear embossing ink, coated it with Simon's white embossing powder, melted it with my heat tool. And then some of the pattern paper from the kit I trimmed down. And then I'm using my little Tim Holtz paper distressor tool. The edges of your scissors work too. This is a little more convenient and less chance of cutting oneself. In fact, it's pretty much impossible to cut yourself with this tool. I've shown using the scissors in other videos. Again, you just got to be careful if you're using your scissors. You can technically use your fingernail too, but I don't recommend that. And this tool is just handy. So I use that to rough up the edges of the paper. It just creates a little bit of texture. And then another thing I pulled out from my stash is this Vivant ribbon. I bought a few different colors of these ribbons. They are really nice ribbons. Really nice ribbons. And I need to make a habit of using them. Because, you know, I don't know how many yards are on these rolls. It's a lot. 20 meters. Yeah, there's a ton. So I doubled it up for this one and wrapped it around the pattern paper. I used my reverse tweezers just to hold the little knot closed, made a bow, and then I'm like, you know, fiddling with it, zhuzhing it to get it, you know, how I want it. And then once I'm happy with the bow, I can trim the tails off. And then my little sentiment panel, I'm going to pop this into place with some of Simon's Big Mama foam tape just to create a little bit of dimension. I'd also pulled out some dark chocolate cardstock from my stash. This doesn't come in the kit. I just pulled out some because it goes nicely with the pattern paper. And I trimmed that to slightly larger than the pattern paper. So it just mats it and gives it a bit of a frame. And then, yeah, the sentiment panel popping up with the Big Mama foam tape. So it just gives it that little bit of dimension. And then some of the little images that I had stamped and colored and cut out, I'm going to pop these into place with just some glue as well as a little bit of foam tape just to also build just a smidge of dimension. And then once I've got these in place, all my card bases are the Simon Says Stamp Smooth White 120-pound cardstock. That is, like I said earlier, my go-to for card bases. So all my cards are going to be top folding A2 white note cards, so 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And on the insides, I'm going to use, on this one of the like leftover pieces of the pattern paper. And then I stamped some of the same images with Simon's Sage Positively Saturated ink. And then I'll just adhere my little pattern paper strip. And then I can trim off the excess and then fold that card closed and adhere the card front panel, and that is card number 1, which we will come back to all these because I'm going to be using that splatter, of course. But we do that at the end. So that was card number 1. For the second card, I took some of the smoke cardstock, trimmed down an A2 size panel, lightly misted it with water, just a couple spritz of water. That just helps soften the paper fibers so you don't get cracking. If you find that, your cardstock, pattern paper, whatever it is you're running through with whatever embossing folder, if you find it's cracking, lightly mist one side with water. Just one side, that's all you need, and try it again and see what happens. Usually that should eliminate any cracking. So I ran it through with that embossing folder, and like I said, when I unboxed it, I like this embossing folder a lot. It's just an interesting, but yet basic, like geometric pattern. Love. So I enhanced that with some white pigment ink and just very lightly brushed that over. I wasn't pressing with the ink pad. I was just lightly brushing it, so it was picking up kind of the high points of the pattern, and it just highlights it a bit. Gives it another, just a little visual interest. And then I took one of the tags from the kit, added a little bit more of that ribbon. I trimmed down some of the pattern paper as well. And the sentiment I'd also white heat embossed onto that sage cardstock. And then that one I die cut with just a circle wafer die. So once I had my layout sort of figured out, I'm just adhering everything again with just the liquid glue. And then this one I didn't build up the dimension because I've just got the layers. There's the dimension from the embossing folder. So figured everything out and then just started adhering it down to the background. And yeah, we're kind of going to rinse and repeat with all of this. I didn't do anything super extra for these either. It was more just having fun with the pattern papers and then using all these little elements that I had stamped and colored and whatnot. So yeah, over the years, those that have followed me for a very long time know that pattern paper was very much my thing for many, many years. So most of my videos, it was loads of pattern paper. Now I have the habit of I curate it. I don't collect it. I curate it. I'm a professional curator. But yeah, sometimes I use it, especially when it comes in kits. That encourages me to use it, because it's usually not a full brand new pack of paper, which is actually a good thing. For some reason, it just kind of helps break my brain a little bit. So it's oh, it's already open. I can use it now. I know. So I have fun using the papers and the kits. And like I said, I do think that I have a full pack of this coming in an order too. So I kept telling myself that even if I don't, I'm refusing to check. So I was nope, I'll have more of it. Just use it. Use it. Have fun with it. That's the whole point. Anyway, the thank you sentiment that comes in the kit, the wafer die, I die cut that also from the sage cardstock. I have a couple full packs of this cardstock. I had it set aside because I haven't organized anything. I need more hours in the day. Anyway, I forgot I had this cardstock, and that's why I was a little thrown off when I was unboxing it. I was oh, this is new. Yeah, it's newer. But anyway, I die cut the sentiment from that cardstock 3 times, as is tradition, and stacked the layers together with the glue so that it gives it dimension and a little bit of extra strength. I did not use the outline with that, just the sentiment on its own. I also love the way it's connected, so it's all one piece. Love when that happens. And then built my card base there, my card front, again using some of the pattern paper. I die cut a piece of white cardstock with one of the petal tipped labels, wafer dies, to frame everything up. Adhered my sentiment. I'd added another little bit of that ribbon. And then popped all my little images into place with some thin foam squares. So just built a little dimension that way. And then on the inside of this card, I put my Post-it tape right where the score line is so I don't stamp past the score line. And then I use the same images that I adhered to the front. And these I'm stamping with Jade Positively Saturated ink, so just a really pale ink. And that's all I'm going to do on the inside. Just have that kind of pattern. And it's light enough that I can easily write over it with a ballpoint pen and it'll be legible. This would also make a cute little background. If you don't want to use your pattern paper, you can make your own. That's really fun too. I've shown that in tons of videos in the past. It would just make a cute little card front and add a sentiment, a couple little die cut elements, and you'd be good to go. But for me, that was the inside. So after the inside was stamped, I adhered this panel to this card base, and that is card number 2. So then or was that card number 3? that was card number 3. I'm losing track. I'm losing track. I've got a disaster going on here. Literally, I've stuff everywhere and I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Anyway, this is card number 3, 4. Card number 4. Yeah, the last one was card number 3. You guys, anyway. I embossed one of the pattern papers with the embossing folder. Love. And then I roughed up the second panel of pattern paper with that little paper distressor tool. And then layered up more die cut elements with that Petal Tips Labels wafer die. So I did the same thing with the sentiment. I die cut it 3 times from the Sage cardstock, stacked it all together, adhered all the elements as shown, and then added my little stamped and colored bits. And then on the inside of this one, I adhered more of the same pattern paper and then trimmed down a little bit more of that little coordinating piece, and then flipped the card base over, trimmed off the excess. And then I'm going to stamp the same images that I put on the front. I'm going to stamp those with the jade ink and just overlapping them. I'm not worried about masking anything with stuff like this. It's going on the inside. The inside's just extra kind of bonus, you know, and it's just cute. So then I adhered the card front, and that finished off the 4th card. The 5th card I didn't film, but I'm going to show it when I add the splatter, and I'll also show it at the end of the video here as well. Yeah, it kind of, like I said, kind of same thing, you know, samesies. So the splatter. This Positively Perfect White splatter medium. I like it. One thing you need to remember, when you go to use it, make sure you stir it up because things settle, you know. So just make sure I stirred it up really well before I splattered. It has a more, I guess the only way I can describe it is kind of like a watered down consistency. I'm okay with that. It's a little different than some of the other stuff I have, and I've talked about this in my videos. I have, just like pattern paper, all the things. I have so many different mediums I've used to splatter with. This is just a new one, and I'm liking it so far. I used my little fan brush, dipped it in there, and added my bit of splatter. It's just simple and it's cute. And it says on the bottle that it will not, or it says with the listing that it's not supposed to interact with, like, if you have like water-based inks under it. There's the last card I made. Like I said, pattern paper, some little die cuts, sentiment, same. But yeah, I'm gonna, you guys will see me use the splatter more. I'm intrigued by it, and I like how it looks. So I splattered all the cards, let that dry, and now they are complete. So these were a lot of fun. I was not originally planning to make this many cards with this kit, or at least, you know, this was more than one sitting, honestly. But I couldn't stop. Once I started, I couldn't stop. I was having fun. Just the colors, the pattern paper, coffee themed, tea themed, anything to me is just cute. And I don't know. I like that whole genre. Because obviously I have an entire playlist, which I'm saying it. Hopefully that reminds me that I will link to it here at the end of the video. And then, like I mentioned in the intro, I'll have links to all the things I used in the description box below. So you can just expand that. It'll all be there to check out if you are interested. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me, for thumbs upping and commenting. Subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you. And I will be seeing you all very soon in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!